who did a great job running the team.
Yeah. Yeah, the guy that ran the Expos out of town is now apparently been put in charge. Hasn't been signed off, so here's what happened. He's on the exploratory committee to get the Olympics here in the city of Toronto in 2024. He is now going to go to the mayor of the city of Toronto, who most assuredly, John Tory, will sign the papers to officially declare Toronto a city that wants the 2024 Olympics. There you go. And you know, I don't know if you will find more. One of the things that we're set to is the New York Post magazine, New York Post, newspaper wrote an article on the indifference of the Pan Am Games in the city of Toronto. Most people were indifferent, but I think people warmed up to it. Did you not? Did you not get the feeling people kind of warmed up to the Pan Am Games? I spent a little more time watching than I thought I would. I wasn't as... Well, that's not true. I was pissed off about the HOV lanes the entire time. I had to find a new route home, which took me an extra 20 minutes. So, you know, it was a financial inconvenience to me. It was a time inconvenience to me, as it was to a lot of people. But I think a lot of people really enjoyed it. I think a lot of people were really proud of the fact that Toronto did just an awesome job at the games. They really did. Not one incident, not one issue. You didn't see any security issues or breaches. You saw a bunch of happy people running around. We bought a whole bunch of tickets for it. Probably meant a lot of money to the city as far as infrastructure goes. So, you know, I think Toronto's got a lot to be proud of today.
That's why they're trying to take advantage of that, D, now, with an Olympic bid. Let's get all those warm and fuzzies we had from the Pan Am Games. Great moments in basketball, the women's basketball, the grass. Oh, let's use this momentum and now have an Olympic bid and come together. We built all these facilities. Let's use it in 9 years' time to bring the world here and host these Summer Olympics once and for all.
Yeah,
and I think what all this is.
I do too. But at the same time, though, you know,
I said to you guys, I'm not a big fan of Olympics. It's just like not really interested in wait till like 2024. I'm not even gonna go there. I don't know why people want to rush 9 years from now. It's just the Olympics to me is just like what's the big point of it?
See, I look at everything from a very selfish perspective. I don't look at, oh, it'd be great for the city. I'll just find another way downtown. I'll take mass transit. I'll do it because it's just not me. So I'm on the other end of the spectrum. However, you know, the sporting part of me, you know, the part of me that understands what'll be good for national pride, you know, watching what happened in Vancouver, which was just an enormous success. The Pan Am Games, an enormous success. You'd go, you know what? Would it be cool to host the Olympics? I guess. Yeah. Would the strain on the city and you know, the infrastructure be pushed to its limit? Yeah. Would I be inconvenienced? Totally. So I think if you look at the big picture, would it be cool? Sure it would. If the Olympics were announced to be part of because I don't know whether other host cities are bidding for it. I know Boston said they wanted Paris, France, and then they're saying now LA instead of Boston. But LA had one. Was it 86 or 84? It was 84. Yeah. Canada won a load of medals in the Rio Olympics. So, you know, and I think I'd be okay with an Olympic bid.
It's 2 weeks. And 2 weeks would be a small price to pay if you get an NFL franchise team here. And I think those two go hand in hand because you have to build a massive Olympic stadium to house the track and field, the opening and closing ceremonies. And
no, I think they have it at BMO.
They'll just add an extra deck on top of that one. And there you go. You know, I think they'd have it at Rico. Be great. That'll equal an NFL team here because you got to have a tenant for that massive stadium. And if it's just 2 weeks of inconveniencing, just get out of the city. Yeah, get out of the city. The same thing happened in Vancouver. They told their residents, just get out of the city if you don't want it. And what do they do? A lot of people running out their houses to people coming in.
Oh, yeah.
And if
for like 10 grand a week, they rented their houses out.
And if sucking it up for 2 weeks to bring an NFL team here ultimately and you get to host the Olympics, count me in, I'm in.
positive outlook right there.
We should send Johnny on the street today to go ask the people if they want the Olympics here in Toronto.
That'd be a good idea. He's got this look on his face like
He's really enthused.
yeah, like he's not sure he might pass wind at any point. I think I got one through and I'm not sure if it's gas, I don't know. That's the look on Johnny's face. So that's your final Pan Am Games update coming up in a few minutes.
Here.
Anyway, very interesting. Very interesting to see if we get, because I know that it's more of a possibility today than ever, just because by all accounts, according to the Pan Am organizers and the committee, it was the best Pan Am Games ever.
This was the best Pan Am Games ever.
The most well-run, the most organized. We had more athletes here than they did in Vancouver 2010. They had a third of the volunteers. They were efficient. They sold well over 1 million tickets. I think 1.1 million, 1.2 million in there. They had 1.4 million to go. I know well-funded at the same time, not as well-funded as it should have been, and they were able to pull it off. 23,000 volunteers, 64,000 volunteers actually applied. Imagine being turned down to work for free, and you must have been a terrible candidate. Anyway, I was thinking that.